Hello and welcome back to the Sunshine Kisses and Fairy Wishes Crochet Along. This is part 12 and it's called Mesmerize. It's our Monikers section and it's going to be gorgeous. I'm actually going to try and get away with using a whole bunch of little scraps now. Let's see how we go. Alright, let's get set up and we'll start with row 1. Okay, so for row 1 we need to be on the wrong side. So you join to the wrong side with a standing single crochet, or if you're continuing your yarn you need to make a chain 1 to turn and then make a single crochet in the same stitch as your chain. And we're just going to make single crochet all the way down for this row, so nothing too taxing. Get that done, make sure your count is correct at 216 single crochet all the way down for the full pattern size blanket, and then we'll reconvene for row 2. Back soon. So at the end of row 1 I need a chain 2 to turn, or you can make a starting stitch, and then we turn and we are now facing the front side of our blanket. Now my chain 2 counts as my first double crochet, and this row is just double crochet all the way down the line. So the double crochet is in the first stitch and I just need to go down the line and finish the rest. Now I've only got a little scrappy ball here, I hope I can make it all the way. At the end of the row you need to chain 2 and turn. Alright, I'm going to change colour at the end of this row because I won't have enough to keep going. Then I'll come back and catch up with you for row 3. Back soon. That's it, just double crochet all the way down. Row 3 is next up. Now if you're using the same yarn you should have turned either with a chain 2 or a starting stitch. I'm going to start fresh. Now we need a half double crochet. That chain 2 represents the half double crochet, so we'll make a standing half double crochet for my first stitch. Then you need another half double crochet, a second one, in the next stitch. Now in this row we are going to be making post stitches, front post double crochet and back post double crochet. Okay, so our repeat will be very, very easy. We're going to start off, you can see the bold square brackets. Sorry, I've got a lot of tails here. The bold square brackets tell you one front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. So let's do that first. Yarn over, come down to the next stitch, it's the third one. And I guess before I continue, just a reminder, remember how we said when you're looking at the back of a stitch, the top loops are in the opposite spot to where you're expecting them. So even though my stitch going into these loops, those loops belong to the second stitch, not the third stitch. Okay, so this is the stitch we need to use for a front post double crochet. Now we've made front post stitches before, not too difficult. Yarn over, go down from the top, up from the back, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 twice. Now the second part of the repeat is to do a back post double crochet. So it's yarn over, this is back post, that means you're coming up from the back now. So come up from the back, just go round to the back and down from the top, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2 twice to complete the double crochet. Very super easy. Up from the back, down from the top, pull the loop through. You may notice how I tend to pinch my work there just to get things out of the way. So your whole repeat is these 2 front post double crochet and these 2 back post double crochet. So let's do it again. Yarn over, down from the top and around, complete the double crochet. Again, we need 2 of these. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 twice. Now the back post, yarn over, come up from the back, down from the top, pull through the loop. Oops, there we go. And again, because you have to do 2 of each, another back post. Nice and easy. So just keep up that rhythm. 2 front post double crochet followed by 2 back post double crochet all the way down. When you get to the other end you should have 2 final stitches left, so don't do anything in those 2 stitches. See how pretty that is? So leave the last 2 stitches and I'll join you there and we'll finish up together. Okay, you should end on 2 back post double crochet at the other end. Back soon. There's my row and I finished up with 2 back post double crochet. You can see the loops under there. And now all we need is a half double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. So again, reflecting what I said at the beginning, these loops, because even though they're on the left of my stitch, they actually belong to the stitch I used for the post stitch. For the lefties, guys, you'll be the opposite, yours will be on the right. So they're not my loops that I need for my last 2 stitches. My double crochet loops are over here. And then I have a turning chain. So I need to put one more half double crochet into my turning chain. Okay, so it's a bit tricksy working in rows and going backwards and forwards. Right, the last thing we need to do is chain 2 and turn. And so that brings us back to the front of our work. And I will just take a minute to tell you something now, because the stitches that I can see on the front were the back post stitches we just made. But when I flip the work, they actually look like front post stitches. So just be aware of that when I'm describing the next few rows, because it can be confusing. I might refer to these as a front post stitch, but in fact it wasn't. We made it from this side. Let me just put my finger in one of them so you can see. So this stitch, for example, looks like a front post stitch, but it's a back post stitch. You can see it poking through there. It was one of my back post stitches. So I'll try not to get everybody confused. I'll try not to get myself confused. And we'll move on to row 4 once you finish this one. Back soon. So row 4 is basically the same kind of stitches, front post stitches and back post stitches, but we're going to go off kilter by 1. So first we need to set up. So we start, my chain 2 is my first half double crochet. You may have a starting stitch or a standing stitch. I need one more half double in the second stitch. There's the first one. I need a half double in the second one. And now to start this, to just get the setup complete, I need a front post double crochet around this first stitch, which is the bit that's confusing because it looks like a front post double crochet, but it was made from the back, so it's actually a back post double crochet tucked in there. So I'll try not to say that specifically, I'll just say next stitch. Okay, that's the setup, 2 half double crochet and a front post double crochet. Now the repeats begin. See the bold square bracket? So we now do 1 back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, and yes, one of them, the first one, is going around this stitch. So round we go. So now we are offset by 1 stitch all the way down. That's 1 back post double, now another one going into that stitch there. And now we make our 2 front post doubles. Into that one and into this one. So each time now our set of 2 stitches will use one of the front posts and one of the back posts from the previous round. So each time you get to the second stitch, you're going to be changing. So now I have to do a back post. One there and one more here. So now I've reached the second of these 2 and I have to swap over again. Now I'm going back to front post. 1 and 2. And then reverse again. Back post. 1 and 2. And now front post. Okay, so keep going. Stop and check yourself, because your front post stitches should not be completely lined up with these previous stitches. Okay, everything should be off by 1. You see that one's there and that one's there. Okay, see the difference? So that's what you're looking for. They'll be offset by 1 stitch. Okay, so let's keep going. When we get to the end, I need you to stop with the 4 into the 4 stitch. You should have 1, 2, 3 stitches left when you're done. Your final front post double, your front post double will go into this stitch, and you'll leave the other post stitch and the last 2 stitches, and I'll join you there and we'll finish up together. Okay, take your time, make sure you're getting 2 of each kind in between and that they are offset. Alright, back soon. I've finished my last back post stitch, there it is. Now to finish off, we're going to mirror the start where we did one front post double crochet in one of the stitches at the very beginning before we do the edge. So one front post double crochet to finish off, and one half double crochet in each of the last two stitches. That one there, and for me in my standings a half double crochet. You may have a chain, depends on what you did to start. And now we chain 2 and we turn again, and we'll be working from the wrong side again for row 5. Okay, so just make sure you check what you've done here, check yourself, make sure your stitches are in the correct alignment, that there's only one of these front post stitches in this first of these two stitches. For the lefties it'll be the other way around for you guys, but you'll be only using one of these front post stitches, or well, what was originally a back post stitch, front post into a post stitch that's looking like that. Alright, okay, let's get going to row 5. Row 5, my chain 2 again represents a half double crochet, and then I need another half double crochet into the second stitch. Now we're going to start our repeats immediately, and we're going to again be offsetting. So we start with back post double crochet, 2 of them. So one back post double crochet into this stitch here, which was that final front post double crochet we made from the other side, but from this angle it looks like a back post stitch. So one back post double crochet in there, and then one back post double crochet into the first of these 2 post stitches here, and then reverse front post double crochet now into the next 2. And now back post again. Yep. Back post, there we go. And now front post again. Let's take a look. So from this side, you'll watch your post stitches building up in that direction for the right-handers, I guess. I'm not sure what it'll look like for left-handers. When we reverse it, our post stitches are going to start increasing to the right. There's a bit of an angle happening there. But it's, I think I should pick the wrong colour actually to try and demonstrate this, because it's probably hard for you to see. But I'm sure you can see the patterning in your own piece that you're holding right there, as long as you're getting each of these post stitches. Now see what I did wrong there? I started with the front post and I was not supposed to. If you get all of your stitch placement correctly, you'll start to see the line move diagonally up depending on which side you're looking at. And one more back post double, and 2 front post doubles. Alright, let's get this row finished as well. At the other end, you will finish your post stitches exactly with all of the post stitches here, and you will be left with 2 stitches, one of which will be your turning chain. So you'll be left with that stitch there and your turning chain or your starting stitch, whichever you used. I'll see you there and we'll get that done together. So I'm done, and my post stitches are lining up nicely on the diagonal here. So I finished my last 2 front post doubles. Now all I've got left to do is my 2 half doubles. Oops. One into the half double below and one into my turning chain, like that. And then I chain 2 and I will turn again for row 6. Okay, and row 6 now, when we turn, we'll be back onto the correct side. This is very ungainly to turn now. Alright, so we need to be back on the right side for row 6. Finish up row 5 and we'll be back. Okay, row 6 now. My turning chain is my first half double again, and now I need another half double in the second stitch, which is over here. Okay. Now, this time we are going to do one solitary back post stitch. before we start our repeat. So back post double crochet around the next stitch back here, just one, just to start. That's the setup. And now we're going to start the repeat proper. We're going to put one front post double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So the first one goes into this second of this pair as a front post double, and then a second front post double. And now we start one back post double in the next 2, one front post in the next 2. So you know the drill. So get that done all the way down to the other end, and you need to stop with 3 stitches left. Okay, so you need to have the turning chain, the half double, and 1 post stitch left at the other end for us. So that's my turning chain, my half double, and my post stitch. So you will finish up with a back post double crochet around that one and that one, leaving this final post stitch alone because we're going to use it. Okay, so get it all done and I'll catch up with you at the other end. Done. So that's my last set of front post stitches. Now the last 2 things we need to do is put a back post double crochet in this last post stitch, 1 back post double, and then 2 half doubles, 1 in the half double crochet from the previous row, and then 1 into my turning chain, which has got all tweaked up here, so I'm going to have a bit of a, there we go, got it. No, I didn't get it. Mislaid plans, there we go. So that's the end of row 6. So much texture. I know you can feel it on yours. It's really stretchy and just nicely textured. And you can see the post stitches. I know my yarn's not the best for demonstrating, but I know you can see it on yours. Last thing we need to do is a chain 2 and turn, and then we're ready for row 7. Flip the work again back to the wrong side and be back in a minute. Row 7 is a repeat of row 3, but it's still written out for you, and I'll still just get you started again. So my chain 2 is my first half double. I need a second half double in the next stitch, and then we start our repeat straight away. We start with a front post double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So more of the same, 2 and 2. That's my 2 front posts, and then to stretch it out so you can see where your stitch is, your 2 back posts next. 1 there and 1 there. So we're continuing the same scenario with 2 of each offset by 1. All the way down. So I won't bother because I know you know how to do it. We'll come all the way down. You will finish in this last post stitch. Your last back post double will go around this post stitch here, and then you need to put a half double crochet into the half double crochet that's there. I missed the top loops, but it's there. Gotcha. And then I need a half double crochet in my turning chain over here, and you may need one as well. It's either a turning chain or I'm fumbling. Must be dinner time. So make sure you've got 2 half double crochet, 1 in each of the last 2 stitches. Make sure your last back post double goes into this post stitch here. Then you'll chain 2 and turn, and we'll come back for the last row of these post stitches. Back soon. So there's your last 2 back post double crochet that used up the last post stitch as well. And then you've just got a half double in the half double and a half double in the turning chain, and then you're done. So chain 2 and turn for row 8, but I'm going to cut off my yarn and change my colour again because I haven't got enough. So I'll be back in a minute and we'll do row 8. Row 8 is back on the right side. If you have your chain 2, that's your first half double crochet. If you need a starting stitch, that's fine. I need a standing half double crochet because I'm starting a new colour. So that's the first thing. Then we need another half double crochet into the second stitch. And now we're going to finish the setup with 1 front post double crochet only, like we did in the way back down we did that. Just 1 front post double crochet in the first post stitch, just the one. And now we start our repeats of 2 back post double crochet, then 2 front post double crochet. So that's the first one, that's the second one. Now 2 front post double crochet, 2 more down the back, 1 and 2 all the way down till you have 3 stitches left, and then I'll join you there and we'll finish off the side with our odd end like we did way down here. I think it was, yeah, there it is right there. We did one like that. Right, all the way down, finish off before you get to the with leaving 3 stitches at the end. Just leave 3, which will be one of which will be your turning chain, your half double, and 1 post stitch, which is right behind there. It's very hard to see. 3 stitches. Back soon. So I'm done. Now if you're following the exact pattern count, then your repeat would have finished here with these 2 front post double crochet, and then you need to do 2 more back post double crochet. Now the last thing we need to do is make a front post double crochet around the last post stitch, which is tucked away back here. It's right behind there. So 1 front post double crochet into that final post stitch that's a little bit hidden, so that you've still got your 2 back posts but 1 front post, just like we did at the beginning where we put 1 front post in. And then we finish off with a half double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. 1 half double, and my second stitch is a very tight chain like that. And that's it. Now we chain 1 to turn, and we're going to put the final row on there. Okay, get that sorted. We turn and we come back from the wrong side for the last row. So I'll meet you there for row 9. Row 9 is very simple. We've got a chain 1 for the turn, and I need a single crochet in that same stitch, and then all you're going to do is single crochet all the way down the row, 216 for the full pattern, or whatever stitch count you've got for your own. Okay, make sure you keep that correct. That's it. That's all you have to do. Single crochet all the way down, fasten off and secure ends. When you turn it around, it will look very pretty. Actually, it looks pretty from both sides. Next thing you need to do is put on your next section of ATM right on the top, and then we'll reconvene for part 13. This is the end of Mesmerize by Monica. Bye for now.